Hey, everybody. It's a slow night, so we're going to listen to some music while we have about, you know, half a dozen people come in. So have fun and just sit back and listen.
In the shadows where the lost ones crawl, echoes of despair and chilling call. Fire burns in the ashes of our fate. Whispers of the fallen, it's far too late. When the skies bleed red, we will fade away. This is our stand in a world so cold. We are the stories that will never be told. In the chaos we find our might. Survivors of darkness, we're ready to fight. Oh yeah. With shattered dreams and a heart of stone, we rise from the wreckage, we stand alone. The end is near, but we refuse to yield. Our spirit ignites a battle revealed from the depths of night. We reclaim the day. This is our stand in a world so cold. We are the stories that will never be told. In the chaos, we find our might. Survivors of darkness, we're ready to fight. For when the silence falls, we'll still be here. In the end of all things, we conquer fear. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. This is our stand in a world so cold. We are the stories that will never be told. In the chaos, we find our might. Survivors of darkness, we're ready to fight. This is our stand in a world so cold. We are the stories that will never be told. In the chaos, we find our might. Survivors of darkness, we're ready to fight. For when the silence falls, we'll still be here. In the end of all things, we conquer fear. For when the silence falls, we'll still be here. In the end of all things, we conquer fear. Oh yeah, we will conquer fear. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Well. Hello, my lovely rum monkeys of funk. How are you all doing, my family? I hope y'all are doing really good. I hope y'all are doing great at whatever time it is, wherever you are, eh? Oh my God. Hey, Melissa. How you been? How you doing, Wally brother? How you doing, Tyler brother? How you doing, Sky brother? Miss Miss Melissa, the keeper of the white rabbit. Oh, that's all good, Wally. It's all good. I know Bat will join us. It's all good. I'm glad to hear you're doing good, Wally. I'm glad to hear that. So, breaking news in the world. Supposedly, they found a biblical plant seed outside of Jabbar Law something in the Red Desert. And supposedly, biologists have never seen this plant ever before. They believe it's an extinct tree from that area because, the water dried up and everything. Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Sky brother. I'm doing good. But supposedly this tree and this seed dates back to some biblical recordings and everything of making a heal all be all salve. And this seed is almost like 3,000 years old, and they found it in a cave in the Jahabar and the Jahabar Desert. And they've only found one seed, and they are they've grown it. Like it's actually a sapling right now. It's all good, Tyler. It's all good. But yeah, you know, supposedly this tree produces a sap that's in it that's used in healing salves and well salves. And supposedly, it was created to heal gaping wounds. It was able to heal people of like minor sicknesses. Um, supposedly it can break people out of comas too. Well, not comas, but long sleep. Um, so you know they have this in a research facility right now, and it's a sapling right now. So they're projecting maybe, the speed that it grew and became a sapling is far faster than any other recorded plant in history. It was only about a month from when they planted the seed, when they took care of it, to where it is now almost an inch and a half tall sapling. Um, they said that they're going to have to do medical research on it. It's going to be the next biggest thing in medical research if it is supposedly the tree that they believe. In the biblical terms, they called it the tree of healing. Um, but nobody is sure on it. Um, it's 3,000 years old and not that much is mentioned about it. What's up, Angel? How you doing, sis? But, you know, right now we're doing everything and anything to create immortality, to be able to regenerate, body parts. Even there's a medical firm in Mexico that's doing research on axolotls, because an axolotl, it does have a limited lifespan, but you can literally destroy 90% of its body. As long as a portion of its brain is still alive, it can regenerate its whole entire molecular structure. It can regenerate its whole entire body. You can cut its head off. As long as it has its head brain, it can still regrow its whole entire body. Yeah, not everybody can do that though, Angel. But, they're trying to splice the DNA of jellyfish and the axolotl to be able to regenerate. Even case studies and everything in Australia, they have learned to take certain parts of the jellyfish's anatomy, the DNA structure, to be able to allow people to regrow teeth. They have 5 candidates right now that were completely toothless, and they are starting to regrow teeth, as in like an infant stage. Like they are growing teeth in the hollowness of the cavity, even though it's grown back and everything. The skin and the muscle tissue has grown over the hole, but the jellyfish DNA and everything is allowing that bone structure, that um cartilage, that ivory to regrow in a human mouth. So the world is pushing forwards. It's also, a sign of times too, if you want to take it through a religious aspect or whatever. People, when we start advancing and changing our DNA, changing, adapting our DNA, and our DNA is so unique. We are able to adapt to other creatures' DNA. Um, but it could be a sign of bad times, like what will they charge? What are they going to do to, and how much are you going to have to pay, and how long are you going to have to take this medicine just to regrow a set of teeth? What are you going to have to do if we figure out immortality, to be able to cut off your arm and be able to regrow it with axolotl DNA? Um, you know what that would mean to anybody that's paraplegic, anybody that cannot walk, anybody that cannot see. If we're able to take out human eyes and inject them with axolotl DNA and regrow human eyes, or regrow an appendage, or regrow organs. Correct, guys, correct. And that's what I'm trying to say. What is this world coming to in the long run? I mean, we are trying to steal the DNA of other creatures to not evolve us, but to modify us. Correct. Correct, Wally. You know, An octopus can eat its own tentacles to survive if need be and regrow them. Just like, there's multiple other creatures out there that have regenerative abilities. We are the only creature that was born without regenerative abilities. Yeah, yep, that's true too, guys. We are. Yeah, I mean, you not everybody's in tune, though, Angel. Too many people have to corrupt. We're not pure souls anymore like we were thousands of years ago, before corruption was a thing. Yeah, I mean, we are energy. We are. I mean, anywhere from electrical energy to metaphysical energy, stuff like that. But nature has outlasted us. Nature has created more unique animals over the last 3 to 4 centuries that we cannot compare to. You know what I mean? But there's some things in human bodies that you cannot restore to an original state. The thing with human bodies is once it's done, it's done. It's like a one time battery. Most people use and abuse their body, use and abuse their regenerative abilities to the point where it exhausts itself of power. That's why science is trying to harness the DNA of other creatures to replenish that, because here's the thing: if we are able to have people regenerate their body, regenerate their organs, you know, but if you look at it with the oxalotl too, the oxalotl can only live about 3 to 5 years and then it dies. It still dies. Where jellyfish reverses their aging process. They hit a certain age and then they go back in time. Their body recycles itself. It literally, I mean, I've done chakra training. I've done a lot of spiritual training and everything, but there's some points where your organs just cannot heal themselves ever again. You know what I mean? There's too much out there that we take for granted every day, and we use and abuse our body. Our bodies, I mean, even if you look 10,000 years ago, when people hit 20 years old, they were considered old. Most people were dying in their 30s. Then, I mean, look at Julius Caesar, okay? Just not that long ago, historically. Julius Caesar was considered an old man at 35, okay? 35 years old, he was considered an old man. People were having families at 15. It's only been in the last 100 to 150 years have we actually been able to live into our 80s, into our 90s. I mean, old age was not a thing until recently. Gray hair wasn't a thing. There was no bearded old white men. Okay. The oldest man that was reported in history ever was in the reign of King Henry VIII. I mean, not King Henry VIII, but King Henry V. King Henry V had a special dinner for the oldest man in the world. He was 50 years old. He was 50 years old. He survived through 2 wars and everything. He was given a banquet by King Henry V. They sat down and they had all you can eat food. Most of history is a lie, Sky. Most, yes. But that's all we have to go by. That's the written documents. That's all we have to go by. We do not truly know. Yeah. There's a lot of people that in the biblical times that lived to be 100, 200 years old. King David lived to be almost 195 years old, supposedly. But his stipulations of living long. Even in the Bible, it said that he had stipulations. He would take a young female to bed with him at night, and he would come out rejuvenated and fresh. And that beautiful young woman was now an elderly old woman after that. Nobody mentions in the Bible how and what happened. They just said what came of it. But, an actual other documented historical records, I mean, look at Saint oh, what's his name? Saint Germain. Okay. Saint Germain was supposedly like 500 years old before he became a saint. Who knows? Who truly knows? Because we can never go back. We can never go back to that timeline. Right, Wally? Trust me, brother. I wished I could go back to that time period too. Trust me. But with modern technology the way it is, modern science the way it is, people are not looking. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We don't need to eat 3 times a day. No, most people barely eat once a day. You know, you can eat once every 3 days and still be okay. You know, it's like water. You know, we are tied to the way that society has brainwashed us, has controlled us. society, the do's and don'ts of society changes every 100 years. Lately, it's been changing every 5 years. Correct. And that's how we are supposed to be. That's how we were supposed to survive, is to eat to live, not not vice versa, not to be gluttonous. It's the same thing with anything else, you know. Same thing with like an energy drink. It's the same thing with coffee. Everything in this world now is an addiction. You know, food, TV, sex, everything. Everything that was meant to be natural has been changed, has been, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Has been bastardized, has been made to, people don't see it like that. People do not see that the things that they do on a daily basis is an addiction. Thank you, Scott. It's corrupted. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. Yeah. We have corrupted ourselves without knowing that we've corrupted ourselves. It's just like the term "I'm starving." It's, you know, people use that term so loosely. There's not a single person here that is literally starving. I mean, even the homeless anymore are not starving. Yeah, yeah, Angel. You know, I eat maybe once a day, if that. Some days I'll eat, I'll eat because I'm starving. Well, I'm hungry. See, even I use that term nonchalantly. We do not know what starving really is in a first world country. Nobody does. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like minds always find each other. Just because just because people disagree on certain things doesn't mean you can't have an intelligent conversation with somebody. Just because I may see something different, but I will not back down somebody else's idea of seeing something completely outside of the box from what I see. The world doesn't accept that stuff. Just like here in my channel, my chat room, everybody, it is free will. It is free talk. I do not judge anybody's I do not judge anybody's words ever. Fuck was that? Anyways, yeah, but that's the thing. People don't see people don't see why they have to work. People don't see why they have to do a job. Most people see money. That's the only reason why most people do anything. The same reason why people go to college, because they are motivated by money, not by the service, not by what you're doing for society. If it was 1,000 years ago and we all lived in the same village, people had their own respected jobs that they had to do to keep the village rolling, to keep the village going. There was a person for each job, person for each skill. Yeah. Because society has made us rely on money. When the term money is the root of all evil, it's not correct, Sky. Correct. Modern civilization has corrupted people's mindsets with the word money. You need money to have fun. You need money to pay for your bills. You need money to pay for the gas to get to your job, to make the money to do everything else. While your taxes and everything goes to the government to spend on everything that they need, just because they say that they spend it to protect everybody. Not everybody gets protected. 1,000 years ago, villages didn't run on money. Most society ran on bartering. The only time money was actually used was to pay their taxes to their corrupt officials. Correct, guys. Money will never buy happiness. Money pays for the motivation to keep going. That's the thing. We use money as a distraction. Money is always a distraction. It's to buy internet. It's to buy, a vacation somewhere. It's to distract you from the everyday work and everything. Hey, Nightmare, how you doing, brother? Correct, guys. Correct. Money to the poor. The reason why the poor stays poor is because the poor spend their money on everything to make them happy. The poor spends money on liquor. The poor spends money on lottery. The poor spends money on that 12-piece chicken meal. The poor spends money on cigarettes. The poor spends money on coffee. Every bit of that is happiness. It turns into an addiction that turns into killing them. Yeah. The poor will take a loan out for $6,000 to go on a vacation with their family that they only get a week of once a year. And then they go into debt because they got to pay that $6,000 off to pay for that vacation that they took. Hey, Bat, how you doing, sis? It's a vicious cycle because people try to escape their reality. Why do you think video games and all this stuff is the highest grossed entertainment out there anymore. It's because that's what they need to escape reality. Everybody's trying to find an excuse to escape their everyday lives. And they think their everyday lives are so bad. No, they don't know how bad it was just 300 years ago. Correct, guys. Correct. Keep them fed and entertained. That's the thing. Because people feel that they have more privileges when they can eat fancy food. People think that they are relieving stress when they watch a comedy, when they can play a video game, when they can go to an amusement park. But then, after they spend that money to go to said amusement park or whatever, they go back and they look and now they're upset because they don't have the money to pay for their bills now. Now they have to work extra to make that overtime to make up for what they spent at the nightclub or the amusement park or whatever. Money controls us. And that's why we put so much into money now. Because you can't do anything without money. Correct. Amusement park. Yeah. You know, it's just like people that complain. What was that video game that was what was that video game that was big like 20 years ago? Correct, Angel. What was that video game? It was a World of Warcraft or something like that. That game alone corrupted so many people. That game alone took so much money away from humans. To sit in front of a computer monitor and play it nonstop with other people, and they were charging what? They were charging some kind of insane like monthly fee on it, and yeah, that's the thing. People want experiences. People want memory. But a lot of the world don't know or are too afraid to go out and actually experience real real experiences or memories. People are too afraid to go out to a park because the world has the news and media has corrupted the world to think that everybody and everything is it's unsafe to go outside. Yeah, right. Wally. See? Yeah, Angel. And it was like some kind of crazy monthly fee on it. And then you had to buy like downloads for it. And like See, even Final Fantasy. See, I know Final Fantasy. I know that game because I played Final Fantasy VII on PS1. That Final Fantasy VII game killed me. What's up, Uncle Al? How you doing? But that's the thing. People are given another world with video games. When you're given another world to take you away from reality, that puts you in a different realm, a different way of thinking about things. It's just like going to a Ren fair. You go to a Ren fair, you play a character. Same thing as a cosplay, convention, whatever. Okay, sorry about that. I was in an elevator. Anyways, what's up? What's up, CR? But the thing is the way you can control people, the way you manipulate people into dealing with everyday life to keep them as cows to the slaughter is give them another reason to live. Remember the movie Avatar? People created a cult to be the Avatar aliens. It was a fucking cult. These people actually truly believed that they were really Avatar aliens. Right, Nightmare? But yeah, yeah, Uncle Al. It is. Because they know humans are weak mentally. They have a easy will to break. Right, Angel? But the thing is, that's how we get. That's why you have these doomsday cults and everything, too. There is enough people that have the same mindset that is willing to come together. There was a thing that I was watching on a TV show. They were talking about all these cult like groups. Okay, there's a group that's in North Dakota, I want to say, that's led by some woman, but she runs a new age alien some kind of bullshit group, okay? And her requirement for you to join the group is to give everything you own to her and the group. You give everything to this group. Your money, your house, everything you own. You don't own anything when you join this group, but the group takes care of you. It looks like a fucking resort, okay? You don't pay for any food, you don't pay for any drinks, you live on the facility, you work for the facility, you eat at specific times, you know. And there's like almost a almost like 20,000 people that work at this place and live at this place. Well, that's the thing. Oh, that's the thing. The leader of this group and everything, she bought the whole entire area, the whole entire county. Somehow she bought the whole entire county in North Dakota. She is the mayor, she is everything. And they are a free county, which means they don't pay taxes, they don't do anything to the government. And the government okays this because they are a free county, which means if anything happens in that place or whatever, the government does not step in. The government will not send medical aid, an ambulance will not go to that facility, nothing. They have to have their own hospital. They have to have their own like medical response team. They have to have all this stuff. Yeah, it does, Uncle Al. Yeah. But this free county of everything. She can do whatever the hell she wants to. Like it like she can put you in their own prison if she wants to. If you change if you change your mind on any of the rules or whatever that's set in this place, she can throw you in her own jail and charge you with with her own crime. Yeah, I heard about that, guys. But this is the way that people escape their reality. I mean, they work for this place with no income. The requirement is you give us everything that you own. Yeah, you give us everything that you own. You work for us. I can make you work however long I want to work because there is no rules or laws saying that I cannot. That I can. There's no rules or saying that I can't do it. And yeah, right. It is pretty much a one world government idea. It is. It is being done in more places than you think so. Yeah. Yeah. It's it's pretty much the same thing. Except you're not buying your way to heaven. there, you're buying your way to the mothership or some bullshit. Hold on.
I'm going to the road 9 7
But yeah, it's you are paying with your duty and your loyalty to gain a seat on the mothership. And people are believing this. Yeah, and you can do it under under the religious laws. You can do that. You have to actually have enough money to buy a whole entire county. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, it has to be a county that does not have any residents on it though. Hell, you can go over to the northern part of Africa and the part of the desert that has no and claim land there and be a part of the, the UN. Yeah, correct, Uncle Al. Correct, Scott. The way that the world, and there is loopholes in all government. I mean, just off the coast of where is it? Off the coast of England or something like that. There's a barge or some kind of like oil platform that if you buy it, you can literally call it your own country because it's in international waters. There is so much that you can do to get by the rules. I mean, the world's never going to change. I mean, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that the world's never going to change because it changes every 10 years. But doing something about the mindset of the government, the mindset of democracy, the mindset of running a country is never going to change. Yes, yes, the oil platform in the North Sea. Yes, yes, Uncle Al, thank you. Like, you can buy that. You can buy that and you can go and live on it. I mean, it's just like the island that Bjork bought in Greenland or Iceland, one of those places. She bought a single island out there and put a house on it, and she owns her own country because it's in international waters. It is not a part of Greenland or Iceland. Yeah, yeah, Iceland. Thank you, Uncle Al. But yeah, that her one single house there that she doesn't even stay at. She just put a house out there, and it's considered her own country. She has no laws that she has to listen to. She can do whatever the hell she wants to on it. She could she could kill thousands of people out there, and nobody can do anything about her. There is ways you can bypass the government.
There was ways. Yes, they are. Yeah. And, I mean, there's parts of the northern desert in Africa. All you have to do is go and put a flag in, and you claim it. There's nothing out there that says you can't do it. Hundreds of people have done that. People have even kicked over other people's flags and put their flag on it. I mean, there was a documentary of a guy from Rhode Island that went all the way over there and claimed the land in his name, and he's running a GoFundMe to actually put people on his settlement to actually make it a country. Yeah. It's kind of an oxymoron, ain't it, guys? Yeah. You can do whatever you want to on your own country. Hell, even out here in Texas, there was a county out here called Mustang, Texas. Okay, and it was just bought out by some rich billionaire, and they're demolishing all the houses and everything out there, and they're demolishing all the houses and stuff out there, and he's going to turn it into a real Jurassic Park once scientists are able to clone woolly mammoths and everything. Once he said he's going to buy woolly mammoths and put them out here in Texas, in Mustang, Texas, and open up a real Jurassic Park. I mean, and he bought that whole entire county of Mustang, Texas, for $1 million. He's the mayor, he's the police chief, he's the fire chief, he's everything. Yeah. And see, that's what you need, Sky. Faith. Faith is anything. Faith is your ability in yourself to survive, the ability in your own strength, ability in something that you truly have a connection to. And that's what gets people through in true survival-esque situations. The ability and the faith to believe something or yourself can get through or protect or do whatever. I'll never judge anybody for what they believe in. I'll never judge anybody for anything unless it is just completely ludicrous. Correct. Faith is different than hope. Hope kills. Faith doesn't. Well, that's kind of an oxymoron too, because a lot of these doomsday cults and everything, they killed themselves because of faith. But correct, they are correct. Right. And yeah, it's not for us to judge. We are basic fucking humans. Basic humans. There's no reason how we should be able to judge somebody else. But that's the code of man. The code of man is to be able to indict your judgment on anybody because of what you believe. Everything in this world, every meaning in the dictionary is an oxymoron. People use it to their advantage. Well, technically, the word God is a multi-use meaning. I mean, I'm not a person that goes on religious aspects. I'm going on the word, the meaning of the word. Because there is over 10,000 gods. Just because you take the S off of it doesn't mean the same thing. All God means is a being of other power. You know? Just like entity means anything. Doesn't mean It doesn't mean an alien. It doesn't mean a cryptid. It doesn't mean just one thing. An entity means everything. I mean, you have doomsday cults still to this day that worship their creator, which is still, a multi-use word. It's how you use the word. Doomsday cults worship their founder, their believer. They idolize them. It's there was the Doomsday Cult guy in the 80s in Japan that locked up the subways and like Jim Jones, correct, Angel, yeah. Yeah. I can see your point of view there, guys. It's just like me. I believe that there's something. What? I don't know. I have a master's in cultural anthropology. I've studied over 500 religions. They all backtrack on each other. Every single one of them backtrack each other. The only religion that does not backtrack on any other religion is the Hindu religion. I mean, if you want to read a crazy religion, read the Hindu. I mean, read the Hindu stories. I mean, there's a story about two kings that were going to go to war with each other, and there was a great warrior, kind of like a Herculean warrior in Hindu mythology. But he was a living android type being. He wasn't mechanical per se. He was kind of like the Terminator. He had human flesh, he breathed and everything. And he joined one side of he joined one of the king's armies because that king's army had less men than the other army. So he joined the weaker army side in his idea, saying that, well, if I join this army, I can help them and give them the upper hand and they can win. And then the other king stepped in and said, well, if you join that army and you kill my army, that means my army is going to be weaker. So you're going to have to come over and help me kill the other army because they're stronger now. And vice versa. They kept going back and forth saying, well, then my army will be weaker. Then my army will be weaker. You take care, Wally, brother. You know, I'm half Cherokee. There is some thoughts of the Native American, but the thing is which Native American belief, which tribal beliefs do you believe in? Because each tribe had their own different beliefs. Each tribe also had their own different demons. Each tribe had their own different gods. I mean, yeah. Hey, but if you look at religion, Uncle Al, like the Hindu religion, the Egyptian religion, they all are alien-esque. Most gods that you read are technically alien. Just like the Titans and the Greek gods. The Titans were formed here on Earth to protect Earth. But the Greek gods came from the northernmost brightest star to come and protect this world from the Titans. Even Zeus's father that came, that called the Mad God, he ate every single one of his children. Zeus was the strongest one to burst out of his father's stomach and rescue his brothers and sisters out of his father's stomach. And even Zeus could turn into different animals to come down from Mount Olympus to mate with human females. Take care, Wally, brother. But if you look at all religions in all aspects, every single one of them has unique abilities. They have powers greater than a human. All gods have powers. That's why we worship them. But, you know, the Hindu gods rode in giant chariots that shot laser beams to destroy villages. Like, they literally shot beams of power and would vaporize villages or castles. Yeah. Everything written on paper is technically a story. I'm not denying that, Skies. Everything that is written history-wise was written by a man. Everything that we know today, was written by a man. Yeah, Uncle Al. Yeah. If you look at the carvings and everything in ancient Hindu temples, they even found hieroglyphs that were carved in the Sahara Desert. They found a cave in the Sahara Desert just recently that showed humans swimming above mounds of sand. So that means at one point in history, the Sahara Desert was a part of the ocean. Just like, but our scientists say that there is no proof that that the Sahara Desert was covered in water because it's a thousand sea levels above water now. Correct, CR. Correct. Yeah, yeah. The Sphinx has water lines. Everything has water lines. Everything. But the Sahara Desert does not have water lines. That's the reason why scientists cannot believe that the Sahara Desert had water in it, because we have no physical proof like we do stone, like we do, you know, any other ground line. Oh, you're good, CR. You're good. Yeah. You know, that's why I say we don't know everything. We never will know everything. Because the people that we pay to research all of this, a hypothesis is called a educated guess for a reason, because we do not know 100% if it's going to work or not. We do not know 100% about anything in our history. That's why I was talking about the tree, the 3,000-year-old tree seed. Scientists are hoping and praying that this tree seed is the tree of healing. Yeah, right, CR. It's a theory, you know? Eh, I don't I don't know about that, because I mean, you can look at Roswell, you can look at where the crash site of Roswell happens. There's stuff growing there, you know. Even if it was something radioactive or whatever, radioactivity fades away after 1,000 years. That's the thing. That's the thing, Sky. We don't know if it's true. The only way we would know if it's true is to be able to go back in time and go to that exact location at that exact time and see it truly happen. Other than that, we don't know. It's just like, okay, the story of King Midas. King Midas was a real person, okay? He was actually documented in history as a real human being. But everybody knows the story of King Midas's curse. Anything he touched turned to gold. His whole entire castle, everything was turned to gold underneath him. And he died from insanity because he hugged his daughter and turned her into a pillar of gold. But we don't know anywhere that this could be true. We have no records of where his location is. We have no record of his immense amount of gold. We have no record of anything. But we have documentation that he was real at one time. It's just like the Minotaur, the mines, the Minotaur labyrinth. There is no recorded documentation of where this was. Right, Skies? Correct, Al. Correct, it was. Correct, CR. No, you're good. Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody knows 100% if anything is going to work. Nobody. I mean, going back to survival, okay? If the old school survival techniques worked and everything, how come we had thousands of people dying every day? If the idea that you can survive in a half acre of land by yourself, then why was there so many people dying in the age that these survival techniques were made? Why even the basic survival skills of starting a fire is not 100% proof that it works all the time, because it can't. There's so many things that can screw up a hand drill fire starting a small ember. One drop of sweat can put out an ember. And you have to create sweat to make that ember fire, that dust fire. Everything that has ever been recorded, yes, it has worked in specific situations. But it's like, how do the natives in the rainforest make fire? They don't make fire rubbing sticks together because it's too humid for that to work out there. Correct, Skies. Because humans fear the truth. Humans need that little white lie to keep going. Yes, you can, but you need a convex lens. You need a ability to magnify the light, to pierce the water, to turn into a beam of light. The natives and everything 1,000 years ago didn't have that ability to convex light. Or if they did, we don't know about it. But but the thing is humans are afraid of the truth. Humans have always been afraid of the truth. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. Who knows? Because there's no documentation on it. So if there's no documentation or anything, we believe that they didn't have it. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, there's thousands of things to how they could have made it. Yes. But the thing is, civilization, first world thinking says that they did not have that ability because there is no proof. Because science is I need it in front of me to prove that it's real. I do too, Uncle Al. I do too. I mean, if you look at the Malgalis temple in India, in Bangladesh, it shows people sitting there in a meditative stance with a gigantic light bulb above them, like an actual light bulb that we use today, with a gigantic wire hooked up to a steam powered like engine. So that means ancient Hindus had a way to make electricity from a machine. There's even hieroglyphics that show females talking on something like a cell phone. In India. And these temples are over 10,000 years old. Correct. Correct, Skies. There isn't. But the pyramids are there. Yeah. Yes, they are. The world has so many questions and no answers for any of it. Yeah, Uncle Al, yeah. They show people gliding on hang gliders. The fuck? Two gunshots. I mean, yeah, JP Morgan. Yeah, yeah. The ancient Baghdad battery. Yeah. Yeah, the Baghdad battery. Yeah. We had electricity. Even the ones that they found still held electricity in it today. You know, it has not ran out of juice. It's like the first lithium battery. Like that was our ancient people. That's why I say ancient survival techniques is a lie, because there is civilizations out there that had advanced technology out there, and we're looking like idiots saying that, oh, the Europeans came over here and taught the Native Americans how to, make fire. Or the Mayan civilization was the most advanced civilization. They had medical, they were doing surgery, removing people's organs in the Mayan civilization. they were amputating people and making them okay. People were walking around with prosthetics in the Mayan civilization. Prosthetics. And we thought it was a miracle that George Washington had wooden dentures. I mean, the French Revolution, they rebuilt a man's face that was shot in the face with grape shot. He had a prosthetic face that looked exactly like his face. Nobody would ever know. It had the ability to move its jaws also. Yeah, yes, guys. Yeah, Uncle Al. Yeah, yeah, Angel. Oh yeah, I know. Trust me, guys. All of the Middle East and everything, they were all dark skinned. They were all dark skinned back, you know, almost 150 years ago. Everybody in the Middle East had dark skin to absorb more light and to reflect more light, to absorb the heat, but to reflect the light off of them. Yeah. But the thing is people, we were something else a millennia ago. We were something else. We are not the same humans as we were a millennia ago. We are not as smart as the people, as our ancestors were. We will never be as smart as our ancestors were. You can look at the temples in China and see the precision that these stones were placed, that you cannot put a piece of paper in between them. And there was no mortar or anything put into these stones. They fit like building blocks, just like how you would snap together Legos. They fit perfectly. And we cannot do that today with our machines and our computers. We do not have the skill to do that today. Yeah, correct. It There's Hindu temples and everything called chakra stairs that were made out of a specific stone, a harmonization stone that was sculpted to be able to do the whole entire chakra mantra when you walked up the stairs. They only have a piece of that stairway anymore. It's like 4 steps. But it was in such harmonious like balance that they will not let anybody do it. They will not let anybody walk on that stairway. You know, I could believe that theory, Uncle Al. I can. Because either we're not the race that is that evolved from the tadpole that came out of the water, or there was another race of humans here that made all of this and we adapted their religious aspects, their ideology. That's the only explanation, because either we got dumber through our evolution, or something happened to us to make us stupid. Because there's too many unexplained technologies of the past. The Hindu temples, there was an earthquake that went through all of India and destroyed most of India in the 1930s. But their temples were still intact because they are built on a floating stone. You could take pieces of this temple that have fallen off and put it in water, and it will float on water. Well, technically, the language barrier, if you want to take it through a religious aspect, the language barrier was created by the Christian God when we were building the Tower of Babel. Because if you read about the Tower of Babel, we built it so high that people on the top floor were floating because we were hitting the endosphere. We were literally floating because of the lack of gravity, because we all talked the same. We were able to communicate with each other. You know, I mean, we were all one at one time, Sky. We were all one language speaking culture. Yeah. And how did we learn how fire was fire? Scientists say, oh, our ancestors saw lightning struck a tree, and that's how fire was created. No, that is not how fire was created. Fire was created by striking metal against rocks, against quartz. I mean, just the clashing of brass creates sparks. In the brass age, that's why we had humans coming, we had Mesopotamians coming over here in America, mining the copper mine under the Great Lakes. There is evidence that a race was mining the copper from underneath the Great Lakes before mankind was using bronze. Yeah. I mean, we had so much technology when we were supposed to be hunters and gatherers. There was technology around us, always. Correct. Correct, CR. Well, the thing is, if we had barriers blocking each other, why were we on different continents building the exact same monuments, building the exact same pyramids, having the exact same culture as everything else, thousands and thousands of miles away from each other, when we supposedly had no contact with each other? That's a flawed idea, and science is flawed for teaching us that. The Mayans had pyramids. The idea of the pyramid, we didn't have normal houses like we do today back then. We made pyramids as an incubation, as a preserver. Because if you look at the stuff that was buried in pyramids, everything was preserved so well. When they found King Tut, he was in a mini pyramid. He was not in a massive pyramid like today, like the Pyramid of Giza and stuff. He was buried in a mini pyramid, and the base of it was still around. Every bit of food and everything that was left for his offering was preserved 100%. Even the Temple of the Moon in South America was a pyramid-esque building. Everything in there, even the most recent sacrifice before the Mayans disappeared, still had preserved meat and skin fragments on his body when he was in the pit of death. We had to steal the idea from somewhere. We had to, Uncle Al. I mean, just the idea of forging bronze was stolen because nobody can actually find the date of when the first brass sword or dagger was created. There is no history on the very first brass dagger ever made. Correct, Skies. Correct. This world was something else a millennia ago. It was. They just found over here in Glen, there's a place here in Texas called Glen Rose. They literally found when the riverbeds and everything dried up with the drought and everything in Glen Rose, I think it was last year, they found human footprints beside dinosaur footprints. I think it was like an arthropod or something like that. It was a heavy herbivore, but they found bare human footprints in the sand with those right beside the arthropod footprints. That means humans walked with dinosaurs, walked beside them, not tracking them, but beside them. That means an arthropod was tamed. That means we were using dinosaurs for something, either pack animals or something. Yeah. I mean, if we had the ability to train dinosaurs or Jurassic age mammals, yeah, we don't know what was in this world. We don't. The only reason we know anything about dinosaurs is because of an accidental find. An accidental find in the 1800s. CR. But yeah, they said it was close. They said when they carbon dated those footprints and everything, it was carbon dated to the end of the prehistoric era. That means humans have been around during the prehistoric times. We were literally either fighting dinosaurs or running from dinosaurs. And they recently found hieroglyphs in a hidden room in Egypt that showed mammoth-like creatures pulling heavy stones in Egypt. Was it mammoths? We don't know because it doesn't show fur, but it shows long, elongated tusks that mammoths supposedly have. I could understand that, Uncle Al. Correct, guys. Correct. But all right, everybody. It is time for me to get off here. The phone's about to die. I'm going to need to charge it. But, that are going to have to change. The world as we know it is not going to be around much longer. Well, family, y'all take care of each other, all right? Take yourselves, take care of your family, and people around you to open their eyes and do more than what somebody else will. The more we know, the more we understand. The I have in this world. I love y'all. Y'all care. Stay on.